Welcome to CWP. If you want to learn machine learning, data science, or even AI with Python, there's one library you must understand. You already know what it is. It is NumPy. In this video, I will explain what NumPy is, why it exists, and how to use it step by step, even if you are absolute or complete beginner. Let's get started. Well, the very first question you might want to ask is, what is NumPy? Well, NumPy, as you can hear the name, NumPy stands for numerical Python. It is a Python library used for working with numbers, vectors, matrices, and arrays, and fast and efficient. So let's think of Python, NumPy as Python math engine. So almost every data science or machine learning library depends on NumPy under the hood. So you may ask a question, why not just use Python list? Well, Python lists are great, but they are really slow and not really built for math and machine learning. So let's create a file. First of all, let me show you the difference. So here I'm just gonna go, let's call this NumPy. Okay, well, I'm gonna call the file name numpy.py. All right, so let's say we have a list, for instance, and I'm just gonna call that A, and I have 1, 2, 3. This is a Python list, right? And let's say we want to times this list by 2. I'm just gonna set that to a variable. Let's set that C, and I'm gonna print out T. Let's see what we get here. I'm gonna go Python 3 numpy.py, and you can see that what we have here is the duplicate and not the multiplication. So normally what we would want here is 1 times 1. We actually put it in a new list, which is gonna be 1, and then 2 times 2 is gonna be 4. 3 times 3 is gonna be 9, something like that. On a new list, which is this. But what we are getting here in a regular list is just a duplicate: 1 to 3, 1 to 3. Right? So let's try this on a NumPy and see what we get. So the very first thing I want to do here is to make sure we are in a visual environment, which is something that I've talked about in the past. If you haven't watched my tutorial on that, just click on the link at the top and you will definitely just go back to that video, understand what visual environment is, and you can come back here. It's a quick video, it's not a long one. All right. With that being said, come here and just import NumPy as NP. So we may want to tweak things a little bit here because this NumPy is going to be clashing with this file name. So this whole thing is going to be presuming that we have to import NumPy. So the best thing we have to do here is just to rename our file. I'm just going to rename it and just call it num. Okay. We already know that's what we're working with, and we come back here and call NumPy. All right, so with that being said, we're going to do the same thing. I'm just gonna go, it's just that this time around it's gonna be NumPy array, and I'll go open that, open bracket, and you put in your square here. So I'm just gonna go 1, 2, 3. All right, and let's call our T again, and I'll set that equals to 2 times A. All right, cool. Now let's print things out. I'm just gonna go ahead and print that, print T. Now let's save this and run this. If we run this right now, we're going to have 2, 4, 6. So you can see that we have this one duplicated, not really duplicated, but multiplied, right? 2 times 1, 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. All right, so that's how it works, and this is why NumPy is very powerful. So this is actually math. It's not really duplicating the whole thing. So that's the power of NumPy here. All right, let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about NumPy array. So the core object in NumPy is called actually an array. So which is absolutely what you just seen here right now. And to print it out, basically without this multiplication here, it's just printing out your A, right? We'll save that and we run this. We are going to print out our array, which is it, at least. Does that make sense? So unlike Python list, NumPy array usually kind of like store numbers efficiently. It actually allows faster calculation here. as we did earlier. They also support real mathematical operation here. So let's talk about 2D array matrices in Python. NumPy also works with matrices, so which are like just 2D arrays. So let's get rid of this. Alright, so I'm just going to give something like this and call it matrix equal to np.array, and I'm going to open that up, squared bracket, and I'll put that in here. And since we're talking about 2D arrays, you already know this when we talked about arrays earlier. We have one outer array and we have the inner arrays. Alright, so we have 1, 2, for instance here. I'm going to create another one. This is basically what matrix is. So having different arrays inside another. All right, cool. So here we go. We have declared matrix right here. This is what matrix is. So this is extremely important for machine learning, especially what this channel and this particular playlist is all about, taking you towards machine learning. It is very, very important for you to know this because data is usually represented as metrics. So your data, whatever thing you're seeing, we're talking about houses, how machine learning could understand this thing is through matrices. So you need to understand how it works here to get a better understanding by the time you get into machine learning proper. All right, so let's move forward. Let's talk about the basic operation here. So NumPy lets us do math without loops. So instead of running through loops like you would run in your regular list and all that, we can just do some mathematical operation here with arrays. All right, let's go. Let's say we have something like this array, and we kind of set that equal to np.array, and we just have a list of numbers 1, 2, 3. Okay, and let's just print this and do some mathematical operation here. Let's say we have array ar plus, we want to add 5. It's just going to see what's going to happen. And let's say we have that, and we want to have want to times it by 3. Now if we save this and run this, you'll see exactly what's going to happen here. So we have plus 5 on each of this number. So 5 plus 1 gives us 6. 2 plus 5 gives us 7. 3 plus 5 gives us 8. All right, this is array times 3. So we got to do it times 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. So we can see that we can do some mathematical operation, plus addition, subtraction, division, which you cannot ordinarily do with just the normal regular lists. All right, okay, cool. So every value up here is kind of like it's kind of automatically updated. This is actually what we just did right now. It's called vectorization, and it makes NumPy very, very fast. It is very important for you to really know this. So vectorization is just more of doing your calculation and adding, subtracting to the array and doing all of those mathematical operations. All right, with that being said, let's talk about dot product here and matrix multiplication. So one of the most important operation in NumPy is the dot product. It's very important for you to know this one. I'm just gonna go ahead and let's go down a little bit here so we can create space. Let's say we have weights, which is one thing you're going to be dealing with in machine learning, but don't think too much about it right now. Just think of it as a variable. All right, so we're going to have NumPy array, and we're going to open that up. Let's just say we have 0.2, we have 0.5, and we have another one to be 0.3. All right, so this is the array list we have. Let's say we have a features. Like I said again, you're going to see these things in machine learning proper by the time we move forward, in the future. But for right now, just think about this thing. Just think of them as variables, okay? np.array, and we are going to give the features to be 10. We're going to give them 5, and we're going to give them 2. Okay, does that make sense? All right, now let's treat the predictions. Okay, let's say we want to predict, and we have weights and we have future. We want to make some type of prediction. So what we're doing here, we're going to call the future, and we put a sign at the weight. And now let's say we print the prediction, and let's save that. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and remove all of this printing. We just want to see the prediction. Okay, we'll save that and we kind of like run this. We're going to see 5.1. Okay, 5.1. So this is basically how all those things you see here, this is basically how machine learning model make predictions. So it makes predictions by multiplying the future with weights and summing them up, and we get 5.1. This is how machine learning works. So if you look at the weights here, you can still see we're using array, which is what we're focusing on today, NumPy, and we have all these values. We have the futures, we're still using array. We have all of these values, and we make our predictions by multiplying the future times the weight, and we have our prediction, the sum of our prediction here. Does that make sense? This is basically how machine learning works, but as time goes on, you will understand in detail what I'm talking about here. But this is the much you need to know about this in machine learning, NumPy machine learning right now. All right. So why is NumPy really fast? You may want to ask yourself why. Well, NumPy is fast because it is written in a programming language called C. And as you know, C deals with a lot of memory usage and all that. It avoids Python loops. It doesn't run through loops. It uses stuff like optimized math libraries, and yeah, that's why libraries like pandas, skit, learn, TensorFlow, and PyTorch all rely on NumPy because of it's very fast in calculation. You don't need something that will slow down, because running all of this library, there's a lot going on in the memory. You need something that can give you what you want very fast, so that you don't add more to the the slow emotion. All right, does that make sense? Let's move forward now. Where NumPy fits in machine learning, you may be asking, how am I going to be using all of this arrays and all of those things we're talking about, matrices and all of those things? Where am I going to really use them in machine learning? Well, in a real machine learning pipeline, NumPy handles the stuff, anything concerning math. It handles anything concerning pandas data. We're talking about data. Of course, you know that machine learning is not just machine learning. You got to really understand data, which is going to be one of the things math we're going to discuss in the future. Machine learning statistics, basically, on how we can work with data. But that's aside. So another reason why how NumPy fits in machine learning is sklearn's actually trained model, which is what we're going to talk about later. Deep learning frameworks build on top of machine learning NumPy concepts. So these are ways that you can use NumPy in machine learning, right? All right, so if you understand NumPy as a beginner or in Python, you understand the foundation. You're already on your journey to understanding the foundation of machine learning. So in the next video, we're gonna go into understanding NumPy functions and the real machine learning examples. So that's coming in for this tutorial. I'm gonna see you guys in the next tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe if you like what you have. If you have any question, go ahead and put it in the comment section. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye for now.